In the 6th century BCE, empires were built with fire and iron, or so we are told. But Persia rose faster than any power the ancient world had seen, and it did not begin with conquest. On this channel, we tell history slowly, not as a list of battles, but as a chain of decisions. We look at the systems behind power and the quiet choices that reshaped the world. This story is not just about Persia's expansion. It is about why total war never became its foundation. Why an empire that could have ruled through terror chose something more difficult and far more effective. Before Persia became an empire, it was a frontier people. The Persians lived on the Iranian plateau, between older, heavier powers. To the west stood Lydia, wealthy and confident. To the east, tribal confederations hardened by survival. To the south, Mesopotamia, ancient, crowded, and exhausted by empire after empire. This was a world already shaped by domination. Assyria had ruled through fear. Its cities fell not because they were weak, but because everyone it ruled eventually wanted it gone. Babylon followed, powerful but brittle. It inherited territory, not loyalty. Its armies could seize land, but they could not erase resentment. The lesson was visible to anyone paying attention. Empires built only on force expand quickly. They also fractured just as fast. The Persians watched all of this from the margins. They did not yet command great cities. They did not control vast trade routes. What they had instead was time and memory. When Cyrus of Anshan emerged, later called Cyrus the Great, he inherited more than a throne. He inherited a map of failures. The turning point did not begin with an invasion. It began with a rebellion, quiet, calculated. Cyrus did not overthrow the Medes with overwhelming violence. He fractured them from within. Allies defected, commanders hesitated. When the Median capital fell, it was not destroyed. This moment mattered because it established a pattern. Cyrus did not present himself as a conqueror replacing rulers. He presented himself as a stabilizer correcting imbalance. This was not weakness, it was strategy. When Persia turned west toward Lydia, Croesus expected a familiar script: battle, siege, ruin. Instead, after defeat, Lydia's institutions survived, its elites were absorbed. Its economic systems continued to function, now aligned with Persian interests. The message spread faster than Persian armies ever could. Resistance was optional, cooperation was rewarded. This approach carried risk. Diplomacy requires restraint. It demands that power not be exercised at its maximum, even when it can be. Every spared city could rebel later. Every tolerated custom could weaken unity. Every local ruler left in place was a potential rival. Many within Persia likely argued for harsher measures. The old methods were proven. Fear worked at least in the short term, but Cyrus and his successors understood something subtle. The empire they were building was too large to be managed by terror alone. It stretched across languages, religions, economies, and climates. Uniformity would break it. Flexibility might hold it together. The greatest test came with Babylon. Babylon was not just a city, it was an idea. Ancient, sacred, symbolic. Assyria had destroyed cities like it. Babylon remembered. When Persian forces approached, the city did not fight. Its gates opened. Its priests negotiated. Cyrus entered not as a destroyer, but as a restorer. He respected local gods. He confirmed existing laws. He framed Persian rule as continuity, not rupture. This was not generosity, it was discipline. What followed was unprecedented. Persia expanded faster than any empire before it, yet spent remarkably little energy suppressing rebellion. Why? Because Persian rule was predictable. Taxes were assessed, not extorted. Local elites retained status if they cooperated. Religious practices were protected. The empire invested in roads, not just fortresses. In administrators, not just generals. Satraps governed regions with autonomy, balanced by oversight and rotation. No single official held absolute power. The system assumed imperfection. It planned for human ambition rather than denying it. Even military campaigns reflected this philosophy. Force was applied decisively, then withdrawn. Occupation was administrative, not punitive. The result was stability, not peace, but manageability. Persia did not eliminate conflict, it contained it. This model reshaped history. Greek city-states would later frame Persia as decadent, soft because it tolerated difference. But those same Greeks borrowed Persian administrative ideas when their own territories grew. Rome would later perfect a similar balance, local autonomy under imperial oversight. Even modern empires echo this tension between control and cooperation. Persia proved that scale required something beyond fear. It required legitimacy. Diplomacy was not a moral choice, it was an infrastructural one. By treating conquest as integration, Persia extended its lifespan beyond any single ruler. When Alexander finally dismantled the empire, he did not erase its systems, he adopted them, because they worked. Persia's greatest weapon was never its army, it was its patience. An empire that understood that power enforced too loudly eventually stops being heard. If this story changed how you see ancient empires, consider what other assumptions history still hides. Tell us which moment you want explored next. And if this is the kind of history you value, subscribe and stay with us.